There's a quiet moment almost imperceptible when someone challenges your integrity, twists your words, or mocks your path. Instinctively, you do what you've been conditioned to do. Defend, explain, justify. But here's the truth no one tells you. Every time you rush to explain yourself, you surrender something sacred: your peace, your presence, your power. The Stoics warned us not to be ruled by others' opinions. Yet we hand over our dignity the second someone misreads our silence, our strength, our stillness. Why? Because most people would rather be understood than be in control. They'd rather be liked than respected. But that's not the Stoic way. The Stoic doesn't chase validation. They become the kind of person who doesn't need it. Today, we're talking about the power of restraint, the psychology of silence, and why refusing to defend yourself may be the most commanding move you'll ever make. Because when you stop explaining, you stop being predictable, and when you're no longer predictable, you become untouchable. If you're tired of being misread, tired of reacting, tired of feeling like you're always on trial, stay with me. This isn't just philosophy. This is strategy, and it will change how you carry yourself in every room, every conversation, every challenge. If you're on the path to becoming more grounded, more unshakable, more in control of your own narrative, subscribe, because every step toward wisdom is a step away from needing the world's approval. Why it hurts when you're misjudged. It's not just the words they say, it's that quiet desperation inside you, the part that believes, if I just explain myself clearly enough, if I say the right thing, maybe they'll see the truth, maybe they'll see me. But the Stoics warned us. The need to be understood is a trap. It feels noble, it feels honest, but it's not. Strength, it's a reaction, and reactions are emotional reflexes, not strategic moves. When you rush to defend, when your instinct is to clarify, to plead your case, you've already lost something. You've made their perception more important than your peace. You've entered their frame, agreed to their rules, and started fighting a battle on their terms. And that's the first step toward losing yourself, because in that moment, you become tangled. You try to untie the knots they've thrown at you, hoping to return to neutral, but neutral isn't something you reach through explanation. It's something you hold through presence. The more you explain, the more you shrink. You're no longer standing firm in who you are, asking for permission to exist. And here's the deeper truth. Anyone who truly knows you doesn't need your explanation. Anyone demanding one, they rarely deserve it. You don't owe everyone a window into your mind. You don't owe everyone your peace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your own judgment of them." When you defend yourself emotionally, it's not them you're serving, it's your own fear. The person who doesn't react becomes unshakable. The person who reacts is easy to predict. You pokey, they flinch. You accuse, they explain. You press, they crumble. But the person who doesn't react, they become unreadable. They observe, they wait, they remain still. They don't respond to prove their worth. They let the silence speak for them. And in that silence, something strange happens. People start to question their own assumptions. The energy flips. The person who expected a performance is left staring into stillness, and that stillness forces them to face themselves. You might think silence makes you look guilty, that if you don't explain, people will assume the worst. But ask yourself, what kind of power does it take to stay quiet when accused? What kind of strength does it require to hold your ground, say nothing, and let it pass through you? Carl Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own soul." Defending yourself emotionally is one of those things. We speak to avoid discomfort. We explain to soothe insecurity. But the Stoic, they endure the discomfort. They master the insecurity, because they know inner stability is far more valuable than outer approval. Stillness is not weakness. It's strategy. It's easy to talk. It's easy to rush to justify, to smooth things over. To be liked, but easy, is rarely powerful. The hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, is to remain rooted. When your character is questioned, not because you don't care, but because you care about the right things. You care about self-control. You care about principle. You care about your ability to remain undisturbed in a world that demands your reaction. That's the Stoic way, not passive. Not cold, clear on who you are and unwilling to hand that clarity over for temporary comfort. When you stop explaining, you stop giving them power. People want your words so they can twist them. They want your explanations so they can find holes. But if you remain quiet, composed, still they have nothing. You become a mirror. They begin to talk more, reach further, overplay their hand. Their accusations start to sound desperate. Their emotions become loud, and your silence, that becomes the loudest thing in the room. It's not avoidance, it's dominance. Not the aggressive kind, the centered kind. The kind that holds power not by force, but by the refusal to be shaken. The paradox of being misunderstood. Most people don't understand this because they're addicted to validation. They want everyone to get them. They need to feel seen. But the Stoics offer a different path. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because chasing approval bends your spine. You become a performer in your own life. You speak not from wisdom, but from anxiety. And every time you explain yourself to someone who doesn't care to listen, you lose a piece of that backbone. The more you explain, the more they control the story, the more you hold still, the more they start to doubt their version of it. This is how power shifts quietly, not with loud declarations or clever comebacks, but with stillness, with composure. The person who stands in calm when chaos is thrown at them holds something unshakable. They communicate not just with their words, but with their presence. And presence is harder to argue with than any defense. Let them misunderstand. You people may not understand you. Let them. They may think you're arrogant, cold, distant. Let them. They may misjudge your silence as guilt. Let them. Because once you learn how to sit in the discomfort of being misunderstood, you become free. Free from the need to please. Free from the need to prove. Free from the cage of constant explanation. And here's the twist. When you stop trying to be understood, people actually start respecting you more. Not because you gave them what they wanted, but because you showed them something they couldn't shake. Inner control, quiet strength, that rare kind of discipline that says, I don't need to react to be in control. I don't need to speak to be heard. That's the power most people never find because they're too busy explaining. You are not a courtroom witness for your own character. You don't need to cross-examine your own intentions. You don't need to build a case for your own heart. Let your actions speak. Over time, let your life reflect your truth. And when someone throws stones, don't catch them to explain. Let them fall, because when you stay still while others scramble for validation, your presence becomes undeniable. Not because you shouted the truth, but because you lived it without needing to. The next time someone misjudges you, pause. Let the urge to explain pass through you like a wave. Feel it, but don't obey it. Let them say what they will. Let them spin their stories. You're not there to edit their narrative. You're there to live yours fully, quietly, powerfully, and when the noise fades, when the accusations grow quiet, you'll still be standing, untouched, unshaken, deeply at peace, not because you fought to be understood, but because you chose not to fight at all. That is strength, that is Stoicism, that it is freedom. If this resonated with you, subscribe. Every step toward wisdom is a step away from needing the world's approval. And if you're ready to stop explaining, start embodying, this is your sign. Let them misunderstand you. Your peace is worth more than their opinion.